President Jimmy Carter, who recently died at the age of 100, was known for being a trailblazer for human rights and social justice. But his administration has also received a lot of criticism, especially from the Iranian diaspora. Why is that? Someone who knew President Carter and lived in Iran during the years 1977 to the 1979 revolution is Brigadier General Yitzhak Segev. He was Iran's last Israeli military attaché.
The unusual story that before Khomeini landed, President Carter called President of France Giscard d'Estaing and President of Germany Schmidt, and told them, "Don't worry, I check about Khomeini. He is not communist."
Let's get to unraveling the untold story. I'm Negar Moshehedi, and this is Eye for Iran. Brigadier General Yitzhak Segev joins us now from Israel. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you. I feel the same.
Let's start with your background in Iran. Tell us about your role and your life in Iran from 1977 to 1979.
This is a very long 2 years, but let's start from beginning. I was a commander of Sinai, but the army sent me to learn Middle East studies. So suddenly defense minister during this period, Mr. Perez, called me and he told me that there is a big deal and cooperation between Israel and Iran. And because I'm finished Middle East studies, he want to send me to Iran to handle this deal and relation between the armies. I was also military attaché and responsible about the Israeli Defense Ministry. 2 positions. I a little bit reject because usually this job is a final job in the army. I was a paratrooper and I thought to be in a command, and suddenly he sent me to Iran. But at the end of the way, during this day, Tufanian, the Deputy General of Iran, visited Israel. And he told me, let's meet General Tufanian. So I told him, okay, I will meet him, and I met him, visit some units, military units together. And after that, I brought him back to Hilton, and I came back to home. And I told my wife, listen, I'm going to position in Iran. My main partner from defense is General Tufanian, and I left him in the hotel. I go back to the hotel, and I told him, General Tufanian, what is your hobby? And he told me, oh, my hobby is flowers. So I told him, listen, I have a friend from paratrooper units that he is now growth, the best flower. Can we go? I told him, yes, 1 minute. I called to my friend, it was Friday. Like now, the same time, I told him, listen, are you free? I want to come to visit you with General Tufanian. So he told me, we are at dinner, but after dinner you can come, 7 o'clock. So we came and we saw all the flower. And General Tufanian so much pleased and took seats. And it was incredible 2 hours between the garden of the flowers. After the first visit, it was totally military. So this was the beginning. I'm still before the flight, and they informed me that your foreign minister, Khalad Bari, and his wife and his daughter visiting Israel. So he want me to arrange their visit. I told him, okay, why not? You have a good friend when I come to Iran. So your foreign minister, Khalad Bari, and his wife and daughter, I took them over 3 days, all over Israel, and you used to be their guy. And every time your minister asked me, General Segev, I want to see the Jordan River, the Jordan River. Suddenly I took him to Jordan River, and when we came, he became very much disappointed because Jordan River is a very small. But when you read the Jordan River, you believe it's a big. So when we was on the Jordan River, I told him, here is the river. He asked me, where is the river? So suddenly after that, I came to Iran. And actually we love Iran, and immediately I start to learn the language. In 2-3 months, I spoke Persian fluently, and I start to do my job because I told you it was the best days between Israel and Iran. You mean every day El Al flight, every day military people visit, the defense ministry to fulfill the contract. So it was not a job to pleasure, it was a job of work to fulfill the big project of cooperation between army and to qualify the army, Iranian army, to the new military equipment that will come from Israel. So this was very, very active job. But during the time, I enjoyed to visit places all over Iran because I love to do it in Israel, all over the world. So we visit the most beautiful places in Iran and also doing the job with the top of the Iranian generals. And during my visit with them and meeting with them, I advised them to come to Israel and they respond positive to learn about the system that we want to transfer to them. And the first one was General Manucher Khosrodad. He was a commander of special forces. He came to Israel, and I joined him and I took him all over, include Sinai and Sharm el-Sheikh and Israeli paratrooper units and Army Air Force. It was very, very successful visit. Together with him was also Prince Kamiyar Pahlavi, that he was helicopter pilot, and I put him in Israeli helicopter units. So this was a very successful visit, and actually it will not be enough time to tell you about all the other visits, but the second one was the commander of Air Force, General Rabii. He was very top, and very important. The priority of Air Force in Iran was clear from beginning, all over the time. And I asked to meet him, regular protocol, and I bought him a book, a present from General Dayan, that he used to be foreign minister. And he accept me and we discuss. And suddenly, before we finish the conversation, he told me that because of the very interesting subject include for Air Force, he want to visit Israel. So I arranged his visit, and actually I joined him also. And it was 1 week visit. He came with 5 Iranian officers, and we visit also Air Force, Army, military industry, uh, many other places. It was very successful from every point of view, his visit. And when we come back, the beginning of, I arrived to Tehran on July 77. And when July 78 came, big demonstrations start in the street outside of Tehran, in the city out of Tehran. And one day, Rabbi called me and told me, General Segev, I know that you have a good relation with General Dayan. Can you invite General Dayan to Iran? I told him, yes, I do, but please tell me why. So he told me that the situation in Iran deteriorated and the Shah did not give the army order to open fire. So I told him, you have every week 2 meetings with the Shah. But he told me that he cannot speak about such a things with the Shah because the Shah is a high-level king that such a things he cannot speak with him. And I told Dayan, and Dayan came. And this was incredible. When Dayan came, he asked to meet Nasiri, the head of Savak. So Friday evening, same time like this, we went to Nasiri home. I remember the meeting now after 45 years, like happened yesterday, that his son was in his leg, and Dayan told him, General Nasiri Segev told me that there is a big demonstration, so I came here to offer you if Iran need any help from Israel, equipment, me. So Nasiri told him, don't worry, everything is under control. We control the situation. We don't need nothing. We have everything. But if you are here, let's talk about the war between Ethiopia and Somalia.
Really?
So I'm telling you the truth.
Wow.
So I remember this like yesterday. So Diane told him again, listen, I came specially because of the report. So he told, no, 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 everything is under control. Don't worry, we control the situation. So Diane told me, I'm ashamed to tell you this. Listen, Segev, this general is senile. Let's leave him. Now I want to tell you a conclusion, because I also after that educated in United States, in Columbia University, third degree, and my teacher was Brzezinski, that he was advisor to President Carter. It's happened like this. The Shah on 77 started to suffer from cancer. And he lost ability of to control the country. And actually, he never gave to the general order like before when demonstrations start to shoot or to open fire to stop it. And this deteriorate from the city to Tehran. And every time the demonstration was stronger. And because of this, it's become situation in the beginning of 79, that the Shah, after 42 years, controlled this country like a king, not like a god, not only like a king, suddenly did not control the country. The person that need his best help, General Nasiri, become senile on the same time. And on this occasion, the only one man that they can help them to save the country was President Carter. And President Carter was a very, very serious man and very top religion also. And he really want to fulfill things quick. He want to be registered in history to receive a Nobel Prize. So he very much was helpful to the peace agreement between Israel and Egypt. But Israel and Egypt, after the 73 war, was closer to fulfill the peace. But I must tell you, all the superior that I can tell you to President Carter, that he succeeded to overcome all the remaining problem. But on the other side, his treatment to Iran was catastrophe. Catastrophe. Instead to understand the reality of the situation in Iran during 78, and to give any kind of support or help, and to advise the Shah to put replacement, to take him to treatment, because the Americans know that he suffered from cancer. He started to criticize the Shah, and in every place that he spoke to him, he really spoke against him.
Why is that, do you think?
And on December 78, President Carter come to visit Iran, and during this visit he was positive. By the way, General Khusrodad accompanied President Carter during this visit. But when he came back to United States, he again do all he can to push the Shah out without thinking what will be replace him. And I know this clear because after that, after years, I met President Carter 9 times face to face. And I told him everything with what I feel. I did not even hesitate. And I told President Carter that his idea, what he really tried to do, to adopt American democracy in Iran. He thought that the best solution after the regime of the Shah to establish democracy, he was a man open that thought democracy is good for all over the world. But he did not know that in Iran still you have 60,000 villages between the 15th to the 16th century. And the country, or all the Middle East, is not really ready yet to fulfill democracy in a short time. I love democracy, I believe in democracy, but to teach democracy or to fulfill democracy in country like Middle East, you need many years. But President Carter thought that he will push it, and after the Shah, democracy will come. Suddenly, on December, after the visit, Schlesinger used to be defense minister in America, together with my teacher, Brzezinski, that he was advisor to President Carter, met Carter. This Brzezinski told me during my study, and told him, listen, President Carter, we understand what you are doing for civil rights, for democracy, but from other side, you are losing basic interest of America in Iran. Iran is the best friend and partnership of America in the Middle East. You mean they control the border with Russia more than 2,000 kilometers, and they also shall control the oil price. And also Iran bought every year from America $10 billion equipment, military, civilian equipment. So how you push them and you want to destroy them? So President Carter a little bit shocked, and he decided to change policy. You mean what it means to change policy? To give any kind of help to the army. So he decided to send the commander of NATO from Europe to Iran to meet the Iranian general. And he said no email during time, he said fax. And after he wrote the fax, his lady, that she is responsible about civil life, to teach education, to give more right, came to him and told him, listen, if the commander of NATO will come, he is a very bad name. His name that all we achieve in democracy is lost. So they thought, okay, instead him send General Hauser, that is his deputy, but General Hauser did not know how to move diplomacy. So on January 79, Hauser came to Iran, and he met all the generals, big meeting, and he told them on the beginning that President Carter want to see democratic life in Iran. See, this was the end of the meeting, because the general understood that something wrong here. And I know, after that we know that the chief of staff Karabaghi, that did not succeed to take his family out, joined the revolution. Also the deputy of Savak joined the revolution. And this was the beginning of the end, because instead to come to the army and to build confidence with the army, or to promote a replacer from army or civilian that will keep relation with America and the West, he really pushed the democracy that for the general it was something that they cannot accept or understand. So on January 16, the Shah left Iran and he promoted Bakhtiar as a prime minister, and he come to America, and believe or no, President Carter, that so much hate him, really thought about possibility to send him to Khomeini back. Yes.
Wow.
Such a, I'm telling you, you can check this. And
I
he did
believe
not want
you.
to give him treatment also. So the Shah, on the last moment, succeeded to run away from his best friend from America to Egypt, and he died in Egypt. On our story, continue, and Khomeini came to Iran on February 1st. And millions, I don't want to tell you 5 million or 6 million or 10 million, because all the opposition become united against the Shah, because the Shah regime during this year or during the past did some big mistakes, and when he becomes sick, other people in his kingdom become very much corrupt, and this very much united all his opposition. You mean they can be Democrat together with Khomeini. The unusual story that before Khomeini landed, President Carter called President of France, Giscard d'Estaing, and Prime Minister of President of Germany, Schmidt, and told them, "Don't worry, I check about Khomeini. He is not communist."
Oh, oh my gosh.
So this is a story. This you can understand how much this man, President Carter, that I told you good things about him before about Israel, how he become such a, from one side, push the Shah out, from other side, did not develop any replacement under him that he will be Western for the period that also his son or someone else will take control in this country. So what will happen after that with Khomeini, you know? Khomeini cooperate with other kind of operation, play a game, and after 1 year he arrest all of them, all the other run away, and he remain control the only one control the country, change the law, and start with the Republica, the religion Islamia that exists until today.
And when you had those conversations with President Carter, the 9 conversations that you mentioned, how did he react to what you were saying and your feelings?
So after finish my job in Iran, the army sent me to learn for my third degree to Columbia University, as I mentioned, in New York. And my teacher was Brzezinski. And we become very good friends because he consulted with me about what happened in Iran. And I work on my thesis, the collapse of the Imperial Iranian army during the revolution, with him, under him. So we met every day. And he every time told me what happened in Iran during this stage or other stage. And he also told me about this meeting that I mentioned to you with Schlesinger and others. And I told him also from my side, and also I introduced my thesis there, that all people from university, more than 400 professors and American foreign ministry, other come there. And they had to me, telling me what I told you, I criticize without, I did one mistake. I told that he is stupid, so they told me if you will tell the president stupid, you can be arrested. You can mention that his policy is stupid. So I told his policy was stupid. So after that, on 84, 85, Israeli Prime Minister have a conflict with President Carter, how to fulfill the autonomy in Israel. So President Carter continued his peace effort in Atlanta. He built a big center in Atlanta for peace all over the world, against nuclear, against starving, etc. And I received a letter from our Prime Minister that I will represent Israel together with other Professor Itamar Rabinovich in this Atlanta conference. So I came to Atlanta conference, and it was not myself, it was a delegation for age 60, 70 country on the level of foreign minister and other ministers. So our delegation was low level. You mean Professor Itamar Rabinovich, who was from Tel Aviv University. I'm a retired general from Columbia University. And when I sit on the breakfast, President Carter came directly to me, to my table. And I respect him, and he told me, General Segev, I want to hear from you why you stopped the democratic life in Gaza. So I told President Carter, I want to tell you that I was 2 years commander of Gaza, but Gaza, during 400 years of Mamalik, or 400 years of Ottoman Empire, or after that the British mandate another 50 years, or Egyptian military governor, never give any right to the Palestinians. We are only a regime that start to give democracy and arrange election to the cities. So he's surprised. And we continue our conversation. And I told him also about Iran. I did not hesitate. I'm not afraid. I told him the situation in Iran. And I told him that I'm not telling you that during the last year the regime of the Shah was good or not corrupt or Savak was good also. But every time you must think about how to continue or who will replace. And we have discussed about the Middle East many times, hours. And after that, I wrote to him documents that I have until today, that I think I sent to you, if not I will send to you, that I told him, I want to tell you that the Middle East suffered from lack of democracy. Only Israel is democracy. The other country is not democracy, and it will take many years. I want to do it. I really recommend it and support you, but this will not 3 years. This needs 200 years to do such a process. And after that, he gave me a book, and I thought that I also bring him a book. So I visit the mayor of Bethlehem that he have a very small factory doing memory, Christian memory from Israel. So I asked him to build a cross from mother of pearl and olive, something incredible, beautiful. And when I came to the next conference, 1 year later, when he came to me, first of all, I gave him the present. You never believe, his wife was very religious, also did not shake my hand. But when they received the cross, they immediately go to the church in the conference area and pray with the cross from Jerusalem. And when they came back, both kissed me about this president. You know, sometimes you must know what kind of present to give. And he really loved my present. And we become more open and more discuss again about the Middle East. And I told him, if you see my letter, the letter that he sent to me, you will see that he thanked me about my advice about democracy, etc. So he told me in lunchtime, General Segev, I want to invite you today to sit on my table. You mean during the evening? Every evening it was dinner of all the 100 participate on a table of 10. And I told him, okay, I will come. So I came to the table, and it was President Carter and his wife, Rosalind, President Ford and his wife, Bandar, Prince Bandar from Saudi Arabia, the mayor of Atlanta, that his wife was Miss Universe, and Professor Rabinovich and me, sitting, waiting to the food, regarding to the protocol. Suddenly, President Carter stood up in our table and told all the 10 people on the table, I invite today General Segev especially to tell you about the regime of the Shah in Iran and how I succeeded to fell down his regime. So I shocked. I
Wow.
told President Carter, I must tell you something. This is a dinner, friendly dinner. People come here to have a dinner, and you want me to speak about such a brutal events. He told me, yes, I insist. So this moment, I consider myself, and I decided if he really forced me to do it, I will tell the truth. What will be happen, happen. So I stood up and I told the guest, good evening. Regarding the request of President Carter, I want to tell you that I spent 2 years in Iran. I love my stay, and I learned a lot about this country. But I found out during the last 2 years, the Shah was sick from cancer. Nasiri was senile, and actually, United States did not give enough help on this critical situation, and the Shah, the Savak was cruel and really killed people from time to time. But I want to mention you clearly that the new regime, Khomeini, that President Carter helped to bring is worse than Savak. Because Savak used to kill people, but the new regime enjoy from the killing. Which is what it's mean, enjoy from the killing. They open fire on the legs, wait another 4 or 5 hours, after that to the stomach. And after they fulfill the joy from the dead, they send the one bullet to the head and kill him. All the people on the table shock. No one eat, nothing. Actually, I was a big confusion, very big confusion, but he asked me to tell the truth and I told the truth. And actually, we left the table, everyone to his side, and the feeling was very bad, very heavy. Suddenly, it was a Jewish from Iran, Nazarian family that immigrated to Los Angeles, that he used to be my friend, also in Iran, Yitzhak and Yosef Nazarian. They heard, you mean, what I told the President Carter on the table come like all over. They heard what I told. They told me, John Segev, this man did such a damage to us. We lost all our houses, all our property because of his policy. You know how many people left Iran, and you know how many people died because of his policy. I told him, I know everything. This was my study. So he told me, can you come to Los Angeles? I want to arrange a dinner with my friend that you will tell about this dinner. So I invited to Los Angeles and I came to Nazarian family and they arranged big dinner with Jewish and non-Jewish Iranian that live in the Los. You have millions there, as you know, and I gave a small lecture about Iran and about the dinner. And Nazarian and all the other was very satisfied. They see it like small revenge.
Did you at any point feel that President Carter had any concern or any regrets of, establishing or helping to establish Khomeini and his leadership? Did he have any concerns at all, or
I
did he
must
not
tell
seem to
you,
care?
I must tell you that I checked this point. First, I met the foreign minister, his name Cyrus Vance. So I met Cyrus Vance in the conference, and I told him, I must ask you, now we are after the revolution, how you feel? He told me that he feel a big regret, and it was a big mistake. After that, I met President Carter, and President Carter did not show any regret. Any regret.
None at all.
Possible nothing. He did,
Wow.
possibly he did not want to, but they punish him on the in such a way with the hostages, with the election, if you remember, that they did not release the hostages until the American Republican president come, Reagan, and possible it's become big hateness between him and Iran, and he did not show any regret.
Why do you suppose that is? Was he so concerned about communism at the time and the atmosphere of the Cold War? Why do you suppose?
This I told you, I never want to criticize president. I'm not in a level to do it. But regarding my small understanding and my small experience, and I was involved with the peace with Palestinian and Egypt and other Arab country, and I learned Arabic in university. All my negotiation, 3 years with Arafat, was without translator and without any bodyguards. So I understand something. So here I found out that President Carter really have a good idea to do, to fulfill, to set the human rights, democracy, but he thought that this can be done in a very short time. So my last conclusion about this, that because he was so religion and so much want to fulfill democracy, it's better if you can be Pope instead the President of America, because during his stay they lost a lot of strategic points in all over the world.
Wow, that is very fascinating. And as you know, when President Carter died, there was a lot of Iranians who said that that they blamed him for the revolution. As you know, a lot of people that were lost their homes, had to flee Iran. What is your message to those Iranians?
Listen, I told you my feeling and what I understand from my life experience. And I really, because I met Iranian during my lecture all over the world, in London, in Canada, all over, I know how much they disappointment and how much they want a new regime and how much they suffer. But to tell you the truth, I found some of them that used to be rich and become more richer in America. So take it to consideration. But I want to tell you, with your permission, some word about the real situation now.
Please do. As someone who lived through the revolution in 79, what do you make of the situation, like you said, right now, and with the women life freedom movement and the protests and the uprisings? I'd love to get your insight and perspective on that.
So I want to, because you transfer this to many others, as you know, from the same moment that Khomeini took the regime, he started to believe that he is God and is a messenger of God, of Islam. So he's the target. Please remember, the main target of Islam, it's not important if it's Shia or Sunnah. The main target regarding the Quran is to conquer all the world. So some leaders understand that this mentioned in the Quran, but they cannot be fulfilled. It's the time. But Khomeini, from the moment that he really promote, he started the first mission is to conquer the Middle East and to transfer his revolution all over the Middle East. And he did it. He spent a lot of money to connect Shia section in Lebanon, Hezbollah. He built Hezbollah. In Syria, he connected with Assad. They are close to the Shia. In Iraq, he connected to all the Shia organization. In Yemen, he connected the Houthi. And he thought to conquer the Middle East. This was the idea. But he forgot that there is small country, only 10 million now, that name Israel. That Israel is in the middle, stuck. If you want to conquer already all the north, you mean Iraq, Syria, Lebanon, and the south, Yemen. If you want to move to the south, you have Israel and Jordan. And Israel is not really weak country. So he built an arm and took terror organization like Hezbollah and also Hamas and Jihad, that they are Sunnah. He also armed them, financed them, trained them to do one counterattack against Israel from all over. You mean from Yemen, today by ballistic missiles, from Gaza by attack, army attack, land attack, from Hezbollah to attack from the north, and Syria by missiles, Iraq by missiles, ballistic missiles. And actually this happened on October 7 last year, that Hamas and Jihad, under the instruction of Iran, Iran played something that they did not know. You mean they are not involved. You mean they invest billions of dollars to arm them, to train them also in Iran, and suddenly they attack. And because it was a big surprise to us, and also our army and our government did a big mistake on the first stage, we suffered almost 1,500 casualties dead, men, women raped, children slaughtered on this day, October 7th.
What is your impression of Iran right now, the state of Iran in terms of the women life freedom movement, the protests, the uprisings? Do you see any similarities to what you witnessed in person in 78?
I must tell you that we in Israel, we feel they suffered for the Iranian, and we have not all the Israeli media and private people, also Jewish from Iran, have a huge connection with the Iranian through the communication, the internet, etc. And you can see that in Israel there is total support of Israeli people in the Iranian against the regime. But there is something that Israel cannot do. You know, the main act must be done first of all by the Iranian by themselves, and second from the Iranian all over the world, and after that it must be some help from President Trump or the European leader. But Israel, I told you before, Israel, all big Israel is a 10 million. You mean, and you know, in the world, I told you 57 Muslim and Arab country with 1.5 billion. And Israel cannot do things alone. Possible, I think, because now the Iranian regime is so stupid to take again budget from Iranian people that the economy is so bad, and to transfer again to Hezbollah and to Hamas, etc. When in Iran no electricity, no food, and the economy is catastrophe. The Tuman is I don't know how much Tuman is $1 today. So can bring big demonstration in Iran But I want to tell you from my life experience, Iran, from the day they established, their first partner used to be Arafat. When I still there, Arafat came to visit Khomeini, this the first leader that he met. And all the 40 bodyguards of Khomeini was Palestinian. All the 40 bodyguards of, he did not trust the Iranian. Believe me, I met them.
Interesting.
And because of this, uh, we must, the people in Iran must understand that the main power to change is in Iran. They can receive support from big country like America, small from Israel, but the main power to change the regime must be from inside Iran, with your help in the diaspora.
And I just wanted to conclude, what was it like for you leaving Iran during the revolution as an Israeli, as the last Israeli military attaché in Iran? Did you know that this is it? Things are going to change and we're not going to be able to go back? What was your feeling?
Listen, I told you that the story that happened, you must understand, during the last century, it was a possible five revolution, big revolution. The biggest one was in Russia. The second one was in Iran. You mean the real revolution? So, uh, revolution is not something that you can sum up in 20 minutes. You mean there is all aspect. But about my me personally, as I told you, 1,300 Israeli live in Iran. It was Israeli school, El Al flight every day, and a very good connection. Very good. You mean all Israeli business and Iranian business was combined also from military point of view, as I mentioned to you. So when the demonstration reached Tehran by millions, we understand that the situation became bad. And Dayan was foreign minister. He called me and he told me, Segev, I saw that there is a big demonstration in Tehran. We still have 1,300 people, but big hateness by Khomeini. So I think it's good to evacuate. So I told him, you are right. Let's we evacuate the 1,300. But I recommended you that Ambassador, Mr. Hermelin, myself, and men of Mossad will remain. Give us 20 bodyguards because I believe it's possible that on the last moment the military will take control on the regime. So if we will be out, it will be difficult to come back. So they agree. So on December 78, we evacuate by El Al 1,300 Israelis. But everyone left his apartment as usual, that he will return back. They gave us also the key. So on the same day or before this, I used to have a big Impala. So I took the Impala and I took the car of my driver. It was a Pecan Hillman local producer. And I took all my uniform and jacket. I put the revolution jacket and I drive myself the Pac Pecan Hellman during all the biggest revolution that you can imagine. They never stopped me. I look like Iranian. I spoke Irani. My car was Pecan. Never stopped me. And I saw all the revolution from the beginning to the end. And during this, as you know, the regime collapsed on February 10, and we remained there. And we left on February 19. So during these 9 days, every day is Argo, the movie Argo, every day. Every day. I can tell you only the last story that is very interesting, that we received an order to reach Hilton Hotel because American become more unquiet for the revolution, so they decided to evacuate 800 Americans, families. And this airplane, they gave us 30 place to the Israeli. So when we came to Hilton Hotel, uh, it was a revolutionary guard. They check everyone. You have Rolex? This you took from Iran. Where is your car? What is this camera? You mean this man collect property of 800 people? But you cannot imagine. But when we entered, They arrest four of us. They thought that this one, two is a Savak people that Americans like to smuggle. So it's mean they will be hanged in a minute. Outside it was hanging ready. No court, no advocate, no nothing. So at this moment, they sent me to save them. So I came to the Iran revolution table in the hotel, and I told him, good evening, I'm Sartip Segev. The people that you arrest is my people. I want to give you my uh, new amana, you mean, my government recognition in the new regime. He shocked. I also shocked from where I don't know from where it's come to me. So he told me, listen, it's very big to me. I must develop to the committee. You know what is a committee? Khomeini. And the people arrested, I met them. Everyone gave me a letter to his family. It was clear to them that it's finished. They're on the way to be died. And I have the letter until today. And after 2 hours, he came to me and told me that Ayatollah Beheshti, the most important Ayatollah under Khomeini, will come to the hotel to meet me.
Wow.
So I shocked. I shocked. I learned how to deal with him. You saw how to tell the world that I recognize the new regime in Percy. And it was one Percy that Mr. Jada that he helped me. And after 2 hours, he told me that he come. He come, and the door, all door open, like for the Shah. You mean, all the door of the hotel. And some people carry his dress from back, like instead general become Ayatollah. Before they drive a donkey, you see, now they become the kings in one day. And I decided to walk directly to him. This my education in the army as a paratrooper, and the gentleman Jada that joined me really collapsed. So I left him because other people, it was in the lobby of the hotel. And he was in the hand like this. So I push my hand, his hand, and I shake hand with him. And I told him, Ayatollah Beshti, I'm very glad that you come to receive my recognition in your regime. He told
What
me,
did he say?
Naraft. Naraft, he told me. Naraft, what you want? He told me, we want you to leave the country. So I thought, okay, if you want us to leave, we will leave immediately. Please release my people. And he released my people. He discussed with them and asked questions, and I prove him that this is my deputy. He's not Savak, he's not anyone. And we released all the four. And after he released all of them, I saw all the mood of our delegation was 30 people, was 33, was very low. So I decided to wake up all of them. So I come to the kitchen and I told the kitchen, please, I want 33 Polo El Balu.
Oh,
He told me, Polo El Balu is very expensive. It's take a lot of time. So we have a lot of money. So I gave him money for beginning. And 3 o'clock in the morning, he called me and told me, the dinner is ready. So we came, all the 33, that all of them wake up because they heard that we allowed to live. Instead to that, we become life. So celebrate. You can imagine this, I will never forget this. The Iranian Revolution on the window, shooting out that the barrels will pull in, the American will be afraid. You mean every time shooting? And we, 33 Israelis, sitting in the middle of the lobby, eating polo el balu until 5 o'clock in the morning.
that's
I
incredible.
don't see, never in my life, something surrealistic like this. And after that, I agree with the American military attaché that he have 17 buses, that in every bus to put two Israelis, that we will not be Israelis together. He told me, yes, yes. When I came out from the lecture, from the breakfast, I saw that there is a beautiful buses for the American, and our bus is a small bus. He put all the Israeli here. So I entered back to the hotel. I took two pictures of Khomeini, and I put them on the window of our bus. And I told the driver, I consulted with ambassador, I told him, we are not waiting to the American. It's 17 kilometers from Hilton to the airport. 10 million Iranian was with tomato and eggs to throw on the American. And we drive 17 kilometers with a Khomeini picture. No one threw one egg or one tomato on us.
Very smart.
Yes. So we came to the airport, and they also don't want to insult the American, so they check again and again 5 hours. After 5 hours, they allowed they allowed the American to fly. So the Israeli ambassador came to me and told me that he wanted to report Israel, that they are waiting to hear that all 33 delegations are safe and all of them alive and in their plane. I told him, please don't do it. This plane can still land in Tabriz. Let's wait. Only when we'll be out of Iran, when we reach Istanbul, he gave report that all 33 people in the plane on the way to Frankfurt and from Frankfurt to Israel.
When everything went down, the revolution, were you shocked? Were you surprised, or no? You saw the writing on the wall because you had these conversations with these big heads, and you knew that.
I want to tell you something. I told you that I used to be in all the Israeli wars and paratrooper, so educated for survival. So when I told Mr. Perez that I don't want to receive this job, he told me, John Segev, don't worry. We did study in Tel Aviv University about all the country in the Middle East. In every country in the Middle East can be revolution, but only one safe country is Iran. 2000 years and never happened a revolution or something like this. So I told him, Mr. Peres, I'm not telling you that I am afraid. I told you that I want to use my power at the age of 38, that he promoted me general at the age of 38, that I want to be in a command of units, not military attaché. I'm not afraid from revolution. So no one anticipate that this will be happening in Iran. Also academic level, government level, Israel will not do agreement of billion with Iran if she know that revolution on the way.
Wow, I thank you so much for that enlightening and fascinating conversation. I've learned so much from you today, and it's like I just incredible insight, incredible firsthand experience. That was really, really enlightening. Thank you so much, Brigadier General Segev. Really appreciate your time.
Thank you.
If you like this episode, hit the like button, leave us a comment. We'd love to know what you think. The Eye for Iran podcast series is created by Iran International, the go-to destination for expert Iranian news in both Farsi and English. For more, head to our dedicated English website, iranintl.com/en.